Hey, what is up everybody, Blades for here, and today for you guys in a video of Persona 5X. Inside today's video guys, we're going to be going over should you be summoning for Moko Summer, seeing that tomorrow is going to be the day when she finally releases. Now we will be streaming of course late night tomorrow. I had to actually cancel early morning a little bit here because I do have some other things to do. Had a little bit of a family emergency and we're not gonna get into that side of things, but I'm gonna try to keep it a little bit preppy and happy. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into the video for the most part. So Moko herself, or Summer Moko, is very interesting. This character has been receiving a lot of hate, and to be honest, a little bit for good reasoning. Now she is a pretty decent 5-star, but she's nothing too great, to be honest. There's definitely a lot that she could be better at doing, and so we're going to break down exactly what she does today, her different things, and exactly should you summon and why. What are the pros and cons of her actually getting it? So since we do not have her actually in the game here or anything up to actually show it, we're just going to use regular Moko and use her as a little bit of a staple here. So of course act like this is just Moko, just to have something to look at, right? So one of the things with Moko is she's actually able to not only increase your attack here, but also your EHR, and she is going to be really helpful by allowing you to do a little bit more of that healing slash DPS side of things. DPS healer sounds good, you know, right? Doesn't sound bad at all, but unfortunately this DPS healer does have her downsides. In fact, she's very much so lackluster. She doesn't really do much for your whole team, and if you just have Marion A1 or just Marion in general with the weapon, she's very bad. Okay, she's definitely a 5-star that is very easily skippable. But before you go ahead and end that right off, there are some pros to her kit and there's some cons. So since we already started with a little bit of her cons here, let's go ahead and continue, and then we'll move into the pros to make sure we end off the video a little bit looking decent, right? So the cons with this character, as I did say before, her movesets is kind of lackluster, and there's a few things that really just make her not too good. If you guys look at my Discord here, we're going to look at the man Najox's actual build guide here. And thank you, Najox, for actually getting this up and posting it. You guys can find this in my Discord, and you can find this in the worldwide Discord as well. But if we look at the A1, this is one of the things that I feel like really hinders her a lot as well, because pretty much whenever she's about to take damage here, or when she heals, pretty much, she's able to do an AoE effect. That's going to be from her skill 2. It's really nice. It's really good. Just the only issue is this shouldn't be an A1 awareness. This is something that I feel like should be built into her actual A0. That's mainly because this character is actually needs, like, if we had an AoE heal, she would be a little bit better, but we also need that to be a little bit stronger. It's one of those things that I feel like for this character, single target heals are fine and dandy, but if you're gonna have a single target heal for the character that is meant to be a main healer, normally you want to try to pair it with a AoE heal that's pretty decent as well. Marion has a little bit of a single target heal and an AoE heal, which one of them can actually cleanse off debuffs as well. Unfortunately for Miss Moko, she only has a single target heal and doesn't get the actual AoE one until A1, and it's nothing too much of a huge jump. The only other thing that of course that's good is of course when they take damage, she's able to defense shred a little bit, which can stack of course, but that's not really what we were looking for when it does come down to that. It makes you have to invest for her, and that's not always something we want to do, especially when we see the next few banners coming back to back. Reason being, this character is also a little bit of a con. If you guys actually look behind you, or at least look into the other schedules that's coming up soon, we should be having some original characters come out, a rerun of Yui come out, and things like that. We also are going to be having, not far behind then, is going to be Haru and actually Futaba. If we take that into account, those are a bunch of cons that immediately make this character just not worth it at all, and it kind of makes her a little bit in that issue status of what we can really do. Another thing that makes this character a little bit of an issue for some people is the grinding process of everything that we do have to do. Now going back to actually Najox's thing, I don't even know why I went back. She actually goes with a different kit, and that's going to be with the actual Psy healing one here. or more of a healing bonus type of set here, this is what you guys are mainly going to be going for. You of course could use the regular love set, which is going to help you out in healing, but the change of her kit is very so niche that like you kind of have no choice but to follow it if you really want to get the best out of this character. You want to have her deal some of that damage so she's actually able to heal you a lot, and even with this significant change of things, she still is not very good. She falls off very quickly, she doesn't really have too much, and she seems more like a illy prepared character, at least for now, and I'm gonna at least elaborate into that later on. But all in all, her character's not too bad until you hear, of course, even the 5-star weapon isn't too good as well. She does have, of course, some nice increase in healing, which is always good, but we really want her to deal that attack damage, and that's what we're really looking for. And pretty much her 4-star offers that, as well as what we need in general to actually get our heals. So it kind of makes the 5-star a little bit null and void when you can just go ahead and just look at the 4-star and go ahead and keep that in your mind. Now, those are the cons. I didn't want to like start off with the pros and then go to the cons immediately. No, we're starting with the cons this time and we're coming out with the pros. Now, the good part about this character, let's go ahead and break this down. Good part about this character is, unlike our current Moko that we do have here, who is a supporter, she is a support slash healer DPS, right? Or at least a healer DPS, meaning she can deal some of that damage and she can, of course, heal us in general. When we are looking at what we have for at least size, there are no other sides besides, of course, herself, right? This one is primarily only a supporter. She does no damage whatsoever. She does no real healing whatsoever. So actually having a healer and a DPS kind of built into one is really nice. It allows you to have that sub DPS heal that you really will need in the future. In the future I'm talking about the Haru future. If you guys saw my video yesterday that we ended up doing, of course we were looking at Haru. One of the main things that Moko ends up doing is actually allowing us to build attack percentage and EHR. The more EHR, of course, we have on Haru allows us to have the higher attack percentage for Haru, and that really helps you out for a lot of you Haru lovers out there. This is a really good thing because it seems more like, though the kit isn't too good right now, maybe in the future when Haru does come out and she's going to be our first DPS side character, heavy DPS side character, we most likely are going to see a huge shift into her team. So very well, so this could be just prepping for her team in general, and there is nothing really wrong with that. That actually gives her a lot of value, and I do want to say she can do very well in that aspect. Though in the current meta or current things in general, she doesn't look too appealing, she still is pretty darn decent if you look at it that way. Now, some other pluses about this character. This is going to go back to her weapon, although I did say there is a little bit of a minus, seeing that of course the 5-star is absolutely garbage. This is actually a plus for many people. Makes her easier to build, of course. The other sets that we can go for is going to be this other healing set. This healing set, a lot of us should already have up, so it's really easy to build that just in case you want her just to be only a healer. And then with the 4-star weapon, of course, seeing that we have this one being really good, we don't have to fully go into a deep pit for actually getting this character out. Kind of allows us to kind of go in shallow, just get the character, maybe do a multi, get the 4-star weapon, and move about our day. I feel like that's really good in general, but that's mainly my suggestion. Other than that, she doesn't really do too bad here. We do have, of course, 2 AoE side moves, which are really helpful, especially if you guys do need help in Velvet Room. So she will at least prove to be somewhat helpful in that aspect, and really just help you out in general with some of her follow-up attacks. That's always going to be something good for you, and it's always going to help you out in that point value system. So I mean, like, she does have a little bit of some worth. So that was mainly just the pros with it. Not too many of them, but still pretty decent. In all honesty, should you summon, in my opinion, I think a lot of you guys should probably take the skip route, and that's mainly just because if you're not really going for Haru, she doesn't really have too much of a worth. Her main ordeal also goes down with her awarenesses, and if you're gonna go for her, you gotta get the A1 for that AoE heal, and even then it's not really too worth it. So it's either you go nothing or you go straight up for A6 with her, because I'm not gonna lie to you, none of her actual awarenesses are good. But to leave it on a good note for you guys. If you're going for Haru, go ahead, summon for her. She's actually not too bad in that aspect. Anything else I would advise you guys, and I'm not the parent of your account, not you, you can decide what you want, but you could very well summon. I would have highly advised against it, but you could go ahead and summon. All in all, I'm going to be pulling at least one copy, most likely on Wednesday or either Friday. And when that does happen, we're going to have some fun, showcase her off, and see exactly what happens. But till then, everybody, don't summon on this character, please. Unless you're a Haru main, just don't summon on it. It's not worth it. And hope you guys have a nice day. Peace out.